Hi, it's time for another math easy solution. We're going to discuss an inverse trigonometry identity, and now look at this identity, which is the inverse of cosecant of x, and showing that it equals to the inverse of sine of 1 over x. And also, just before I get to the proof of this, it's usually written as or this cosecant, inverse cosecant of x, usually written as arc cosecant of x or a cosecant of x. And you could use these forms to graph in Google, which I'll do right over here. So if you were to write, let's say, arc cosecant of x. So if you graph this, as you can see, it automatically just shows arcsin of 1 over x. So it's just the way Google works. And also you could do arc or a cosecant of x. So basically, as you see, when you type a cosecant of x, same thing. It's going to be written as arc sine of 1 over x, or inverse sine of 1 over x. So I just wanted to point that out. So now the proof of this, it's pretty straightforward. We could just basically use our definition of inverse functions. Let's start with the sine. We'll write sine y equals 2 basically x. So then by definition, the inverse is basically solving for this function y in terms of this x, and that's going to be basically y is equal to inverse sine of x. So now if we were to start off with cosecant, so we go cosecant of y, this equals to, by definition, 1 divided by sine of y. You can see more on inverse functions and the trigonometry. You'll see this definition of video links below. Basically, now this would equal to, well, it's 1 divided by sine y. That's going to be just 1 divided by x. So it's 1 divided by x. So now if we want to get the inverse, by definition, we're going to solve this y in terms of this part over here. So we're going to get y is equal to inverse cosecant of 1 over x. So that's this part right here. So now we have y, but it's going to be in two forms: inverse cosecant of x, 1 over x, and an inverse sine of x. So we can put these together because we already know what y is. This equals to this part right here, so we just drag this in there. This equals to sine inverse sine of x. So now this identity, this is the exact same thing of this actually. This is just written a bit differently. For example, if we just let z equals to 1 over x, if we do that, then x will equal to 1 over z. So we just plug those in, so we get basically y equals to cosecant, inverse cosecant of z equals to inverse sine of 1 over z. We just plug in x is this, and then this one's here. So basically, you could write in any form. You could either do 1 over x equals to this x here, or just x equals 1 over x. So this is basically our answer, and this is our proof. I'll just put a check mark here, and this z, this could be any variable, y, x, doesn't matter. So that's the identity, that's the proof for this one. And anyways, that's all for today. If you learned from this video, like always, you can download these exact notes in the link below. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another math easy solution.